If you're watching this right now, I just want to take a moment and say, I see you. I may not know the exact struggles you're facing, but I do know what it feels like to be trapped in the darkness, wondering if things will ever get better. If that's where you are, I want you to hear this. You are not alone. And this is not the end of your story. You may feel like you've lost everything, like hope is out of reach. But today, let's talk about some powerful stories of people in the Bible who hit rock bottom, people who thought they were beyond saving. But God met them right where they were and turned their lives around. Let's start with the story of the prodigal son in Luke 15:11-32. A young man had everything, wealth, opportunity, family, but he made some reckless choices. He took his inheritance early, walked away from his home, and spent everything on things that left him empty. Eventually, he lost it all. Starving, desperate, and ashamed, he found himself working in a field feeding pigs, wishing he could eat what they were eating. That's rock bottom. But here's what changed his story. He realized something. He thought, maybe I can go back to my father. Even if he doesn't take me back as a son, maybe he'll let me work for him. He didn't think he deserved forgiveness, but he hoped for a second chance. And when he finally made his way home, expecting rejection, his father saw him from a distance, ran to him, and embraced him. No condemnation, no resentment, just love. This story tells us something profound. No matter how far you've gone, no matter what mistakes you've made, God is waiting for you with open arms. You are never too broken to be loved. In 1 Kings 19, we meet Elijah, a prophet who had just experienced a great victory. But immediately after, he found himself running for his life, alone and exhausted. He was overwhelmed, afraid, and so discouraged that he prayed, Lord, I've had enough. Take my life. Maybe you feel like that, like you have nothing left to give. Maybe the weight of everything has drained the strength out of you. Elijah was at rock bottom. But God didn't rebuke him for feeling hopeless. Instead, he sent an angel to provide food, water, and rest. Then, when Elijah was ready, God spoke, not in a dramatic earthquake or fire, but in a still, small voice. That quiet reassurance told Elijah, I am here. Sometimes, when we're at our lowest, we expect a huge miracle to fix everything instantly. But often, God begins by giving us small mercies, rest, nourishment, a moment of peace, until we're ready to take the next step. Few people in the Bible suffered more than Job. In Job 1-2, we see a man who lost everything: his family, his wealth, his health. He was covered in sores, sitting in ashes, crying out in agony. He didn't understand why his life had fallen apart. Maybe you feel that way too. Maybe you've done your best, and still, everything came crashing down. Job wrestled with his pain. He questioned God. But in the end, God restored him, not just with material blessings, but with a deeper understanding of who he is. Job's suffering wasn't meaningless, and neither is yours. Even when life feels unfair, God sees you, He hears you, and He promises to carry you through. Have you ever felt betrayed? Like the people you trusted turned their backs on you? Joseph knew that feeling. In Genesis 37, his own brothers were jealous of him. Instead of loving him, they sold him into slavery and left him for dead. Joseph went through years of hardship, wrongly imprisoned, forgotten by people who promised to help him. If anyone had a reason to give up, it was Joseph. But in Genesis 50:20, he later told his brothers, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good." Even when life seems unfair, when people betray you, when everything falls apart, God is still working behind the scenes. Joseph went from being a prisoner to becoming second in command of Egypt. His story reminds us that pain isn't the end. It's often just a chapter before restoration. David, the same David who defeated Goliath, also faced deep failure. In 2 Samuel 11-12, he made devastating mistakes. He let his desires lead him into sin, hurting people along the way. At one point, he was confronted by God, and the weight of his guilt was crushing. But David didn't stay in his failure. He repented. Psalm 51:17 says, "A broken and contrite heart, God, you will not despise." He cried out for mercy, and God forgave him. If you feel like your failures define you, like you can't be redeemed, know this: God isn't waiting to condemn you. He's waiting to restore you. Your mistakes don't disqualify you from His love. You've heard the stories. People who thought they were finished. People who felt lost, broken, and beyond saving. But God wasn't done with them, and He's not done with you either. Isaiah 43:2 says, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you." Psalm 139:8-10 says, "If I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. If I take the wings of the morning, and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there shall thy hand lead me, and thy right hand shall hold me." Your struggle is not the end of your story. Hold on. Keep going. There is still hope. There is still healing. And there is still purpose ahead. If this message spoke to you, don't forget to subscribe for more uplifting videos. I want to continue bringing encouragement and reminders of hope when you need them most. So hit that subscribe button and let's walk this journey together. You are not alone.